Time for another Devo time. And I'm sorry, it's sticking. I'm here with Carrie the Coronasaurus. I know it's ridiculous, but that's what's staying. Okay, so today we're going to look at the book of Habakkuk. Habakkuk is a minor prophet, and when you do a little background digging into the book of Habakkuk, it's one of those that we don't have a lot of information on. There's just not a ton of information about the prophet, but it is amazing how much this can speak to us right now. What Habakkuk was dealing with, and what the Lord was speaking to him in his season. And let me just read this for you. We're going to look at chapters 1 and just a little bit of chapter 2 during this Devo time. So Habakkuk starts out really with a question, and he's concerned about what he's seeing taking place in his time. And he says, "O Lord, how long shall I cry, and you will not hear? Even cry out to you, violence." That's what he's seeing, and that's what he is crying out to the Lord. "And you will not save. Why do you show me iniquity?" He's aware of the iniquity around him. "And cause me to see trouble." See, Habakkuk was aware of the trouble. "For plundering and violence are before me. There is strife and contention arises. Therefore the law is powerless." Not that the law isn't good, but people aren't obeying it. They're not recognizing that it's right, and they're not obeying it. "And justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous. Therefore perverse judgment proceeds." I think that this is something that a lot of people can relate to regarding our own world. There has been violence and injustice taking place as innocence has been affected. We're calling what is good evil all over this country and all over this world. We are a violent and evil world, and this is the cry of everyone that loves righteousness and holiness. We can relate to the words of Habakkuk, and I think that this speaks to our day and age very clearly. And here's the words of the Lord in response. He says to Habakkuk, "Look among the nations." This is verse 5. It says the Lord's reply in my Bible, the footnote, and this is the reply. "Look among the nations and watch. Be utterly astounded. For I will work a work in your days which you would not believe though it were told you." And I'm looking around, and I think that if you were to tell me we would be where we're at right now just 2 months, 3 months ago, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, and I believe it, right? But I wouldn't have believed you. And he says, "Look among the nations, for I will work a work in your days which you would not believe though it were told you. For indeed I am raising up the Chaldeans, a bitter and nasty nation, which marches through the breadth of the earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful." Habakkuk was saying violence is raising up and all this thing, and God says, "Yeah, I know. I'm raising up a nasty nation. I'm raising up a terrible, dreadful people Their judgment and their dignity proceed from themselves. Their horses also are swifter than leopards, and are more fierce than evening wolves. Their chargers charge ahead. Their cavalry comes from afar. They fly as the eagle that hastens to eat. They're terrible, Habakkuk. They're terrible. They all come for violence. Their faces are set like the east wind. They gather captives like sand. They scoff at kings. They scoff at kings. They don't even care. And princes are scorned by them. They deride every stronghold. This is, by the way, the time of the writing of Habakkuk was when Nebuchadnezzar was coming to power and Babylon was rising. They deride every stronghold, for they heap up earthen mounds and seize it. Then his mind changes, and he transgresses. He commits offense, ascribing this power to his God. This is God's response. He says, I'm going to do a work that you couldn't imagine. I'm rising. I'm letting this kingdom rise up. I'm raising up this kingdom, and they're going to come in and they're going to exact judgment. Here's the prophet's second question. Starting in verse 13 of chapter 1, he says, Are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die? O Lord, you have appointed them for judgment? O Rock, you have marked them for correction? How could you send this? You are of purer eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on wickedness. Why do you look on those who deal treacherously, and hold your tongue when the wicked devours a person more righteous than he? Oh, it changes tune. Wait a second, we're better than them. We're better than them. Why do you make men like fish of the sea, like creeping things that have no ruler over them? They take up all of them with a hook. They catch them in their net and gather them in their dragnet. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. Therefore, they sacrifice to their net and burn incense to their dragnet. Because by them their share is sumptuous and their food plentiful. Shall they therefore empty their net and continue to slay nations without pity? He's beside himself. How could you use them to judge us? He just can't understand. See, we're looking around going, well, wait a second. How could you allow this? How could this be what you're doing? Then he says, starting in chapter 2, verse 1, I will stand my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what he will say to me and what I will answer. I love this. When I am corrected. See, Habakkuk, he realized that he was questioning God. The bottom line is like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And that's actually a really good place to be, isn't it? Looking around going, I know that you are these things. You are from everlasting, the Holy One. You are my God. But you're going to do this? I'm kind of confused by that, but I'm going to stand here and wait for you to correct me because I obviously don't understand. So I'm going to wait for you to correct me, Lord. And then here is the Lord's answer, chapter 2, verse 2. Then the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come to pass. It will not tarry. And listen to this. Behold the proud. His soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Listen. We need to put our pride away. We need to set aside our pride. The Lord resists the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. We just have to humble ourselves and let God be God. Let Him do the work He's doing. Let Him reign and rule over whatever He wants to reign and rule over. He is in control. We are where He wants us to be. Whatever that is, whatever season, whatever comes our way, we're gonna trust Him because He came, He died, He rose again. He saved us from death and hell. We have a future and a hope. We are not living for this world. We're not living for the pleasures of this world. We're not trying to hold on to something in this world. We don't fear death. We don't fear anything this world can do to us. We are living for Jesus. We have been crucified with Christ. And the life that we now live, we live by faith. And we come to Him humble and broken with a contrite heart, trusting Him not for tomorrow, we trust Him for tomorrow, but we live in this moment right now, trusting that He has tomorrow, trusting that tomorrow is in His hands. We forget yesterday. We trust that He knows tomorrow, and we just live right this minute in Him by faith. The just shall live by faith. Seal it up, He says. It's coming. Whatever God is going to do, it's going to come to pass. All of it. He's declared in His word, the victory is His. It's His. Jesus is coming back. I believe, and I've believed this for a long time, we are living in the last days. What does that mean? I don't know a timestamp. We're supposed to live in expectancy. Every day we live in expectancy. Every day we are waiting for His return. Every day we believe that it could be today. And if on the 30th this lifts and we get to, just move on and start trying to rebuild from the damage that this has done, every day we live in expectancy. That's how we live. By faith in believing that He's coming back that day, this day, any minute. We preach, we love, we seek Jesus, and we just trust Him for it. We have to be focused on Him. And I'm telling you, I know, because I'm getting tripped up too if I don't do that. And you're getting tripped up if you don't do that. Let's keep our eyes on Jesus. The just shall live by faith. We put our pride down because we don't know what's going on. We know Jesus. That's what we need to know. We know Him. We love Him. We serve Him. We follow Him. I love you guys. I hope that this was encouraging and helpful. We'll continue to love Jesus together. God bless you. See you soon.